Technologies and the chair of the Dunwoody Perimeter Chamber.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Larrington. I'm a director for state and local government affairs with Verizon and chair of the Government Affairs Committee of the DeKalb County Chamber of Commerce. While our two chambers may have separate boards and missions, we truly believe in collaboration. So one of the ways we're doing this is by partnering today on events such as this one.
Exactly, Michelle. And that is why I'm so excited to share the screen with you today and to explain this event and why it is so important. 2020 was uncertain. It was intense, and overall, it brought to the forefront how much our members and our communities really, truly need us.
Additionally, I think it has shown, the importance of our chambers, our mission of advocacy. In the past, chambers have advocated on behalf of their members and communities as it pertains to economic development and policy. But never have our organizations advocated for our members on such a grassroots level.
Yeah, our organizations have been therapists, distributors of information, digital pioneers, and advocates. And during the past year, as our members and communities called on our organizations, we answered. Issues have included PPP, EIDL eligibility, infrastructure, outdoor seating for restaurants, signage, and so much more. All these items have been imperative to helping our community survive as well as thrive during these difficult times and moving forward.
And as we continue to recover, one of the best ways in which our chambers can help our communities and businesses thrive is to engage with our elected officials. And that is why we're holding this event today. We believe it is imperative for our residents, business owners, employers, and all who are engaged in making our community a better place to have relationships and engagement with our elected officials. Therefore, we're partnering today to bring you Issue Insights, a review of what has occurred on the state and federal level, as well as a preview of what is to come. Please stay tuned on the stage to hear from United States Representative Hank Johnson in a few minutes.
In his 8th term in the U.S. House of Representatives from Georgia's 4th Congressional District, which encompasses parts of DeKalb, parts of Gwinnett and Newton counties, and all of Rockdale County, Congressman Hank Johnson has distinguished himself as a substantive, effective lawmaker and a leading national progressive voice. Named one of the most effective Democrats in Congress by a University of Virginia and University of Vanderbilt study, Representative Johnson has proven his ability to get things done. Today, I have the privilege of introducing U.S. Congressman Hank Johnson.
Good morning, and thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for that warm introduction. And I want to thank you all, the DeKalb and Dunwoody Chambers, for inviting me here to speak to you today about what's happening in Washington that affects not just our small businesses and medium and large businesses, but everyone across Georgia and the nation. I represent Georgia's 4th district, which encompasses parts of DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Newton counties, and all of Rockdale County. I'm a former DeKalb County commissioner, former magistrate court judge, and criminal defense attorney for nearly 27 years before being elected to serve in Congress. And I'm now in my 8th term, and I serve on 3 House committees: the Judiciary Committee, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and the House Oversight and Government Reform Committees. I serve as chairman of the Judiciary Subcommittee on Courts, Intellectual Property, and the Internet. And it's been a very interesting run as I've been in Congress now for 15 years. I'm married to DeKalb County Commissioner Marita Davis Johnson, and we have 2 adult children. And now that you know my life story, I want to share, I want to start by saying it's great to see everyone today. It's great to be here today with you as we make our way to the other side of the pandemic. There's no denying that 2020 and early 2021 have been some of the most challenging and difficult months of our lives. individually and collectively. And the fact that we are here at the end of May 2021 feels like we are all survivors and on the cusp of what I hope to be a new era and a brighter day. But ladies and gentlemen, perhaps like you, I'm still processing all that has happened, particularly in this last 12 months. Over 604,416 American lives lost, most due to the gross mishandling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Record numbers of businesses closed and tens of millions of Americans suddenly unemployed and struggling to pay their rent, mortgage, and utilities, with millions of kids unable to attend school. The horrendous, brutal, and graphic murder of George Floyd, which caused an overdue national reckoning on police brutality and systemic racism. Black Lives Matter protests across the country and throughout the world over the entire summer of 2020. Unprecedented attacks on the integrity of our elections, and a hyper-partisan and divided body politic with an election of a new president. A failure and refusal to accept the election results by the defeated president, with 53% of the electorate believing without a scintilla of evidence that, and in the face of recount after recount and courtroom defeat after courtroom defeat, folks still believe that the election was stolen. Our very democracy and our freedoms thereunder, threatened by a violent insurrection on January 6th. The challenges we've been through have been grave, but so far we have come together as one nation, one people. But we are not united. As I said, 53% of Republicans believe that Donald Trump is the true president. The Senate operates under an archaic and anti-democratic rule called the filibuster, which requires a 60-vote majority to move legislation to the floor for a majority vote. It appears that the filibuster will be used to prevent the creation of a bipartisan commission that would document the truth of what happened on January 6th. A day like September 11th will live in infamy. That is, if reality is not whitewashed, as my colleagues in the House are already busy at work trying to do, as if all Americans are as gullible as they think we are. Truth, ladies and gentlemen, is under attack in this country. And I don't care how many audits of the vote are conducted, including one right here in Georgia. Unfortunately, the fact will remain that not even a close majority of Americans elected Joe Biden on November 3rd to be our president. And on January 20th, he was sworn in as president to lead this country. And to help Joe Biden lead, Georgians came together on January 5th to elect Senators Warnock and Ossoff. Then the Georgia legislature went right to work and passed a bill to make it more difficult to vote. Then Derek Chauvin was found guilty of murdering George Floyd. Then my 30-year-old son graduated from Kennesaw State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and pre-med, with plans to attend medical school to become a physician. This past 12 months, ladies and gentlemen, have been like a roller coaster, a scream machine. Our country and our people have been through a lot. It's a lot to take in. On January 5th, Joe Biden was given the keys to lead, and leading is what he has been doing. In his first 100 days, the House and Senate have been working to get America back on track by passing the American Rescue Plan, which was Joe Biden's plan. He formulated that plan and delivered it to Congress to pass. We hadn't had that under the previous administration. This president is leading. And under the American Rescue Plan, more than 200 million Americans have been vaccinated. Americans can now see the light at the end of the tunnel, where we will beat this pandemic. The American Rescue Plan delivered 160 million relief checks of $1,400 per person, with 85% of all Americans receiving one. And you know what? That government assistance to people brightened the outlook of the people. But for so long, people have been struggling, trying to make ends meet, working one, two, sometimes three jobs, and still not able to make ends meet. And then to $1,400 windfall. I mean, it shows you where we are in America in terms of the wealth of the country being disassociated from the middle class, and more people falling into poverty, fewer people in the middle class, with the ultra wealthy doing extremely well, even during the pandemic. But $1,400 per person gave an injection of hope to so many people. And we also extended the PPP and EIDL loan programs for small businesses hard hit by the pandemic by providing relief to 4 million small businesses struggling to keep their doors open. And many kids were able to safely return to school because of federal funding to make it safe to do so. Combined, the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan in Georgia's 4th District alone, the Paycheck Protection Program helped more than 17,000 businesses, saved 100,000 jobs, and invested more than $750 million in payments and disaster loans. While the American Rescue Plan changed the course of the pandemic and the economy by delivering a much needed lifeline for businesses and working families, this is no time to build back to the way things were. Millions of American workers are still out of a job, while America's infrastructure is in desperate need of investment. And we see the toll decades of disinvestment have taken in every state in the union, including Georgia. Despite being the wealthiest country in the world, we rank 13th globally in terms of the quality of our infrastructure. Our roads, bridges, and water systems are crumbling. Our electric grid is vulnerable to catastrophic outages. And as we saw with the Colonial Pipeline fiasco, our energy infrastructure is incredibly vulnerable to hackers. Too many lack access to affordable high-speed internet and to quality housing. The past year has led to job losses, excuse me, and threatened economic security, eroding more than 30 years of progress in the women's labor force participation. And it has unmasked the fragility of our caregiving infrastructure. Our nation is falling behind its biggest competitors on research and development, manufacturing, and training. So it's clear we have so much more work to do, which is why President Biden has put forward the American Jobs Plan, which is a clear, compelling, and comprehensive set of plans to build back better. We need to rebuild and modernize our infrastructure, including our human infrastructure, and that's why we must pass the American Jobs Plan. Now is the time to think boldly with a bold investment to create millions of good-paying jobs to ensure America can outcompete any other country in the world, and to lay the foundation for broad economic growth for decades to come. The House is already at work to advance a transformational infrastructure package. Investments in infrastructure have long been bipartisan, and in that spirit, we hope to craft and pass a historic package to build back better, creating jobs, justice, and opportunity for all. As a senior member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, I'm fighting for the historic investments outlined in the American Jobs Plan. Today, according to the Atlanta Regional Commission, housing and transportation consume 70% of the average worker's income. In our region, people have increasingly long commutes, contributing to our region having the 5th worst combined housing and transportation costs of all major metropolitan areas. And this makes it hard for businesses to attract workers and undermines our competitiveness as a region. Today, an over-reliance on highways has trapped too many workers in the congestion we all know too well. Too many people have no other way to commute to work and access other essential services than an increasingly long and ever slower trip by car. Since the highway program was created in 1956, and by the way, that was the kind of bold transformational investment that the nation put forward, and look what it created. And it's now time to do another bold investment in our country. But since the highway program was created in 1956 and the interstate highway system was built, connecting this country like it had never been connected before, we've tried to solve congestion with more roads and highway lanes, and it has not worked. And the workforce of tomorrow is demanding change. To help businesses better attract workers, we need to invest in public transit, commuter, and inner city passenger rail, and the safe streets and transit-friendly, livable communities that allow people to comfortably use these services. And at the same time, congestion makes it more difficult for businesses to bring goods to the market. It is time to change the status quo. The American Jobs Plan will make these critical investments. And as we all know, our lives and the lives of the workforce extend beyond the 9 to 5 business day. Workers have families and responsibilities, and they are increasingly met with unaffordable and difficult to manage challenges, especially with long and expensive commutes. And that's why President Biden's American Families Plan will also make a historic difference for families and for businesses, ensuring that children can get the care and good education they need to thrive, and that parents can get back into the workforce to power America's economy and competitiveness. So out of respect for the time limitations, I won't share the details about the American Families Plan. And I hope I have given you some insight as to what is happening in Congress and in our nation. And I want to thank you for your attention and patience. If you or anyone with the chamber have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to my DC or district offices. You can reach my DC office at 202-225-1605, or you can reach my district office at 770-987-2291. Again, 202-225-1605 or 770-987-2291. You can also get a wealth of information on my website, which is hankjohnson.house.gov. Again, hankjohnson.house.gov. And last but not least, I will leave you with this. The mission of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce is to be the catalyst that attracts, supports, and advances business interests in DeKalb County, Georgia. Advancing economic prosperity is the mission statement of the Dunwoody Perimeter Chamber of Commerce. My fervent prayer is that you will fulfill your missions while ensuring that freedom for all is maintained and prosperity flows to lift all boats. Prosperity will not come just for the folks at the top and it be long lasting. It has to lift all boats. So workers have to enjoy the prosperity of the organizations that they work for, and they deserve to be treated fairly and paid a living wage for the work that they do. So freedom for all is so important, and freedom rests upon truth. And democracy is what ensures our freedom. And truth enables democracy to survive and flourish. And it's democracy that empowers the advancement of economic prosperity. Freedom and prosperity go hand in hand, and they should be for all. And the protection of that ideal, ladies and gentlemen, is why men and women went off to war to fight for this country. And for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedom and prosperity, those are who we salute and remember on Memorial Day. So thank you, and everyone have a great week and a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you all.
Thank you, Congressman Johnson, for your engagement and your support of our communities and helping to promote our mission of advancing economic prosperity. At this time, I would like to turn over the stage to Michelle, where she will introduce our state senators and representatives.
Wow, thank you, Siobhan, and thank you once again, Congressman Johnson. That was extremely powerful, and we know it's always important to hear from our federal elected officials. And so I'm excited now because we get to hear from our state senators and representatives. We believe it's important for you to get to know all of your elected officials, and that is why today we will be giving each participant a few minutes to introduce themselves. And at this time, we'll bring our senators on to join us. We have Senator Elena Parent and Senator Tanya Anderson. Oh, I just was informed the senators are not with us at this time, so we're going to go ahead and go to our state representatives. At this time, we'll hear from State Representative Matthew Wilson, Mike Walensky, and Representative Becky Evans. If you all could take a few minutes to introduce yourselves. Representative Wilson.
Good morning. It's so great to be with all of you this morning. My name is Matthew Wilson. I represent House District 80, which covers parts of North DeKalb and Fulton counties. Mostly in DeKalb, it's mostly Brookhaven and a bit of Chamblee and Dunwoody in the city of Atlanta. I'm very proud to be serving my second term in the State House. I serve on the Judiciary, Education, Agriculture, and Insurance committees. Have been very fortunate to be in the DeKalb delegation and work with some amazing colleagues at the State House. And I'll tell you, I'm currently running for a State Insurance Commissioner.
Thank you so much. I see we have Representative Billy Mitchell. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Certainly. Billy Mitchell is my name. I represent the 88th Legislative District, and I want to let you know, Michelle, what a privilege it is to serve with these extraordinary public servants, and Representative Wilson, Walensky, and Evans. They do an incredible job, not only for DeKalb County, but for all of Georgia. And I do consider it a singular honor just to be in their company. I've represent the portion of DeKalb that is Stone Mountain. I also happen to be chair of the House Democratic Caucus as a result of these fine legislators here, and just glad to be with you here. This is my, what is this? This is my 19th year of doing this, and proud to serve.
And then we have State Representative Mike Walensky. Can you please introduce yourself as well?
Hi, thank you, Michelle. I'm State Representative Mike Walensky, and I echo Chair Mitchell's remarks about our DeKalb delegation. This is my second term. I was first elected in 2018, and this year, not only with the lead of Chair Mitchell, but our team worked really well together, and we really communicated, and it was an honor to work with them. I'm on 4 committees. I'm on the Judiciary Committee, Regulated Industries Committee. I'm on Intergovernmental Coordination and Budget and Fiscal Affairs. And House District 79 makes all of Dunwoody. So I love the Dunwoody Chamber, and my law firm is going to be a part of it again because we're back in Dunwoody. And it makes up all of Dunwoody, Dorville north of 285, and a small piece of Chamblee. And if anybody needs me, I'm easy to reach out to. So call me anytime. And thanks again. Thanks for having us.
Thank you all. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in our breakout sessions. I believe we now have State Senator Elena Parent, and I want to make sure she has the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hi,
Hi,
Good morning,
good
everyone.
morning, Senator Parent. Can you take a few minutes to just introduce yourself to everybody?
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to see all of you this morning. I'm State Senator Elena Parent, and I represent Senate District 42, which has portions of North and Central DeKalb County. I am actually the only senator that has only DeKalb County. Everyone else has portions of one or more other counties in their district. So I'm lucky that I get to be a 100% DeKalb-focused cheerleader. Let's see, I've got Atlanta in DeKalb. I've got the cities of Decatur and Avondale Estates. The district runs south of Decatur a bit through the Candler-McAfee area. And then I go all the way north through Emory and Toco Hills and Oak Grove and all of those central DeKalb neighborhoods to the southern portions of Chamblee and Brookhaven. And this is my fourth term in the state Senate. I also did one term prior in the state House. And I serve on the judiciary, special judiciary, I'm on the Rules Committee. And I am also the chairwoman of the Senate Democratic Caucus. So I am Representative Mitchell's counterpart in the Senate. And I got to get with you after this on something, trying to schedule a leadership meeting. So some of the things I'm passionate about include early childhood education, K-12 education, quality childcare. I've also been a big advocate of, on sort of what I would broadly term as democracy initiatives, including independent redistricting and the right to vote. And I'm very concerned about these sort of anti-democratic thrusts that we see across American politics today. And we're going into redistricting. So now is a time to really be focused on making sure that voters' voices are fairly represented within the process.
So much, Senator Parent. We definitely appreciate it. And thank you all for all of your introductions. In a moment, I'm going to invite everyone to go to the sessions button. It should be on the left-hand side of your screen. So you can join our legislators as they break out to discuss. We're going to be talking about economic and workforce development. That'll be moderated by Brandon Hartley, the Director of External Affairs at AT&T. Health and Wellness will be moderated by Kendra Price, Government Affairs Manager at Emory University. And I will be moderating the Transportation and Infrastructure session as well. So while in these sessions, our panelists will have town hall type discussions. And to make these sessions as interactive as possible, please use this chat feature to engage in the conversation. So give us just a minute and we'll see you all in the breakout sessions.